Crisis has tempered optimism. Consequences have challenged idealism. And reality has shaken blind faith.
The fact that the challenges we face are not new does not make them less pressing. Like the generations before us, we have to solve the problems that our technology brings.
Do not equate money and fame with accomplishment and character, because I can assure you, based on the thousands of people I've interviewed, one does not automatically follow the other.
And ever since you arrived here on campus, you signed a statement that began, "On my honor." But have you ever stopped to think what the phrase really means? As young children, one of the first things we learned about American history is the story of George Washington and the fallen cherry tree. "I cannot tell a lie," young George tells his father. "I cut it down." That story is a legend, of course, but legends are passed down from generation to generation because they carry some larger truth. The concept of honor has taken on different meanings throughout the ages: chivalry, chastity, courage, strength, and when divorced from morality or attached to prejudice, honor has been used to justify murder and repression and deceit. But the essence of honor has always been found in the word itself. And those of you who majored in linguistics probably know the words honor and honest are two sides of the same coin. In fact, the Latin word honestus can mean both honest and honorable. To be honorable, you must be honest. And that means speaking honestly and acting honestly, even when it requires you to admit wrongdoing and suffer the consequences. Remember, the honor code here at Rice just doesn't require you to be honest. It requires you to say something if you saw others acting dishonestly. Now, that might be the most difficult part of the honor code, but it also may be the most important because violations affect the whole community. When people see the world as a battle between left and right, they become more loyal to their tribe than to our country. When power, not progress, becomes the object of the battle, truth and honesty become the first casualties. Recognize that no one person, nor either party, has a monopoly on good ideas. Judge events based on what happened, not who did it. Hold yourself and our leaders to the highest standards of ethics and morality. Respect the knowledge of scientists. Follow the data wherever it leads. Listen to people you disagree with without trying to censor them or shout over them. And have the courage to say things that your own side doesn't want to hear.
Today, anyone with an internet connection can inspire millions with a single sentence or a single image. That gives extraordinary power to those who use it to do good, to march for equality, to reignite the movement against sexual harassment, to rally around the things they care about and the people they want to be there for. The role of technology in our lives is growing, and that means our relationship with technology is changing. We have to change too. We have to recognize the full weight of our responsibilities. It's not enough to be technologists. We have to make sure that technology serves people. Tools are shaped by the minds that make them and by the hands that use them. And it's not enough to have a good idea. You have to know when to stop a bad one. To make sure that technology reflects and upholds the right values, we have to build with awareness. And the best way to be more aware is to have more people in the room with different voices and different views. There are still skeptics out there when it comes to the value of diversity. They dismiss it as something we do to feel better, not to be better. They're wrong. We cannot build technology for equality and democracy unless we have and we harness diversity in its creation. To build technology that improves lives and gives voice to those who often have none while preventing misuse. To build teams that better reflect the world around us with all its complexity and diversity. If we succeed, and we can and will succeed, we can build technology that better serves not just some of us, but all of us. I hope you use your influence to make sure technology is a force for good in the world. Technology needs a human heartbeat. The things that bring us together And the things that bring us joy are the things that matter the most.
Technology doesn't change who we are. It magnifies who we are, the good and the bad. Our problems in technology, in politics, wherever, are human problems. From the Garden of Eden to today, it's our humanity that got us into this mess. And it's our humanity that's going to have to get us out. You don't have to start from scratch to build something monumental. And conversely, the best founders, the ones whose creations last and whose reputations grow rather than shrink with passing time, they spend most of their time building piece by piece. Builders are comfortable in the belief that their life's work will one day be bigger than them, bigger than any one person. They're mindful that its effects will span generations. That's not an accident. In a way, it's the whole point. I knew that if you got out of bed every morning and set your watch by what other people expect or demand, it'd drive you crazy. So what was true then is true now. Don't waste your time living someone else's life. Don't try to emulate the people who came before you to the exclusion of everything else, contorting into a shape that doesn't fit. It takes too much mental effort that should be dedicated to creating and building. You'll waste precious time trying to rewire your every thought, and in the meantime, you won't be fooling anybody. There are too many people who want credit without responsibility. Too many who show up for the ribbon cutting without building anything worth a damn. Be different. Leave something worthy. And always remember that you can't take it with you. You're going to have to pass it on.
You make the choice every day, every single day, to exemplify honesty, because the truth, let me tell you something about the truth. The truth exonerates and it convicts. It disinfects and it galvanizes. The truth has always been and will always be our shield against corruption, our shield against greed and despair. The truth is our saving grace. And not only are you here, USC Annenberg, to tell it, to write it, to proclaim it, to speak it, but to be it. Be the truth. Be the truth. The question is, what are you willing to stand for? That question is going to follow you throughout your life. And here's how you answer it. You put your honor where your mouth is. Put your honor where your mouth is. When you give your word, keep it. Show up, do the work, get your hands dirty, and then you'll begin to draw strength from the understanding, the true knowing that history is still being written. You're writing it every day. The wheel's still in spin, and what you do or what you don't do will be a part of it. You build a legacy, not from one thing, but from everything. And to quote Albert Einstein, education is what remains after we forget what we're taught. You've learned a lot here at USC. And when all that you've been taught begins to fade into the fabric of your life, I hope that what remains is your ability to analyze, to make distinctions, to be creative, and to wander down that road less traveled whenever you have the opportunity. And I hope that when you go all in. And that your education helps you to walk that road with an open, discerning mind. Discernment is what we're missing. And a kind heart.
Find the hope in the unexpected. Find the courage in the challenge. Find your vision on the solitary road.
You're either principled or you're not. So do the right thing, especially when nobody's looking.
Smooth seas never make good sailors.
And throughout your life, when you chop down a cherry tree, as we all do from time to time, admit it and demand nothing less from those who represent us.